Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, let me get it, Aldo Ciccolini, the giant cube, 64 fun-filled CDs on Erato. I'm going to have to figure out how to tackle this thing. It's got so much stuff in it. Now, Ciccolini, who passed away in 2015 at the age of 89, was a splendid pianist who didn't quite get all of the attention he deserved because he didn't do the standard German stuff. I mean, he did make a Beethoven cycle on an obscure label. I think it was like Cascavel or something. I don't know. And he did some Mozart, but basically, his specialty was French repertoire and a lot of unusual repertoire. Most of us will know him as the Satie guy because he did 2 complete cycles of Satie piano music, and it was splendid. I mean, whether you like one or the other, the earlier one actually has slightly warmer sonics. The new one was in the 80s. It was early digital. It's a little glassy, but, it's okay. And this bills itself as the complete Erato recordings, which is, of course, a pain in the ass because he didn't record anything for Erato, or maybe very little. He did most of his stuff for EMI, which is now Warner, which has decided that Erato is its classical label, or some of it is. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, there was an earlier Ciccolini box on the occasion of his 50th something. I don't know, when he turned whatever age. And I have it downstairs, and it was reviewed on ClassicsToday.com by none other than the Jedster, by Jed Disler. So you can go and have a look at that review if you're curious, because it's very, very good and very comprehensive. And this has 60 CDs. And if you think I'm going to go sit down and compare which thing is missing on the other, I don't know. If you have the old box, you don't need the new box. If you don't have either of them, you might as well get the new box. How's that for making it easy for you? I mean, why make yourself crazy, right? So anyway, let's see what we got here. This comes off, and then we have the box here with a little tiny skinny booklet that can't possibly have all the repertoire. Oh, it does. Yeah, it lists the repertoire by composer. And I'm not... We'll just have to take them out and do them one clump at a time. What are you doing down there, Mildred? Yes, dear. Okay, Mildred's down here. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Do you have your toy? Did you bring it over here? Oh, she still has it in her mouth. All right, there we go. So we'll get back to that later, honey. So what have we got? Where are we going to start? Where is disc 1? Here's disc 1. Okay. Now, as a pianist, Ciccolini was not even though he did a lot of French music, he was not one of these sensual touch guys. His approach was clear, clean, somewhat brittle, often angular, very different from, the fuzzy, impressionistic school. And actually, the French piano school, generally speaking, is that. It's not fuzzy and impressionistic. That's kind of a myth. And let's get the first clump here. All right, here's the clump. Mozart, sonatas. When is this? Now, these were recorded between 1950, I think, in the early 50s, 53. Yeah, some of the stuff is mono. And then 1990 something, I think, is when he finally retired, but we'll see. Mozart, sonatas. Well, this is interesting. There's a bunch of Mozart sonatas down here, and Scarlatti sonatas too. Well, his Scarlatti is wonderful. His Scarlatti is really, really snappy. It sounds terrific, mostly. The recording quality of these things varies widely. Some of them were rather dully recorded. Some of them are better. And, I can't say whether everything's been remastered for this edition. I really don't know, and they don't tell us. So why should we bother? So we've got some Mozart sonatas and Scarlatti sonatas. I like his Mozart. His Mozart is spiky. It's not your usual sort of glass chandelier, you might call it. This delicate, tinkly Mozart. No, not at all. Not at all. It's fresh and vivacious. And let me just see if they say anything about remastering or something happening here. Let's see. Okay, no, I don't see that. They don't tell us a damn thing that's useful. Or if they do, it's impossible to find. And I just don't have the patience anymore to look through all these booklets and find in tiny, tiny print whatever they're doing. What do we got here? Tchaikovsky, Piano Concerto. Oh, look at that. César Franck, Symphonic Variations. Dandy, Symphony on a French Mountain Air. Prokofiev, The March from 10 Pieces for Piano. And the Moderato from Tales of an Old Grandmother. Now, these are with the Paris Conservatory and André Cuitins, and they're wonderful. Very good performances. Even Tchaikovsky is very exciting. And let's see, when was this recorded? 53, 51, up to 58, 68. All different times in mono and stereo. And do they tell us which is mono and stereo? I mean, we know, basically, of course, from the early 50s is mono. And the other stuff will be stereo. And they don't say a word. Yeah. Then we've got, let's see, Tchaikovsky, Piano Concerto number 1. Again. Yes. Oh, yeah, they were both there. This is with Silvestri. This is very good, too. This one, actually, it's better. Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto number 2. Not bad. The Tchaikovsky Dumka from Russian Rustic Scene in C minor. And Stravinsky's Tango. Also, this is with the Orchestre Nationale de la Radiodiffusion Française and under Silvestri. And these were recorded in 1957, 57. I can't even bother with the dates with some of this stuff because it's hard to read and it's not telling us anything terribly useful. So there you go. A couple Tchaikovskys. He did it very, very nicely. Borodin, the Petite Suite, Arensky, Kabalevsky, Rachmaninoff, some Satie, and a bunch of Satie. Is this where the Satie starts? No, this is other Satie. I guess these are done album by album, not in composer clumps. And so you've got like a whole pile of Satie. This is all terrific. This is the first Satie cycle. So this is from the late 50s. And we've got Chopin, waltzes, and the Polonaise, and Berceuse, and a nocturne or two, and Liszt, Harmonie Poétique et Religieuse, the ballad number 2, Mephisto Waltz, Liebesträume. Well, his Liszt was really good. Ciccolini was a Liszt guy. He got into the bravura. He was thoughtful. He was intelligent. He would clarify the thickest textures. Really nice. The Chopin's not bad either, but the Liszt is really special when he did these things, and so you should always. Here's more Liszt. And Années de Pèlerinage. It's one of the great Années de Pèlerinage. He did them twice, actually. It's funny because he tended to be forgotten in these things for some reason. When you think of the Années de Pèlerinage, you think like Boris Berman or Lazar Berman, Lazar Berman, and some of these other like heavy-duty Lisztian specialist type peoples, even Alfred Brendel. And if you said Ciccolini, people would go, Ciccolini, but he could really play. And these are fun. So here's more of Années de Pèlerinage and the Consolations. That's really, really good. So he didn't do a Venezia and Napoli, I think, in the first Années de Pèlerinage, but he did give us the Consolations, which is a consolation, isn't it? Albéniz, España, Mampu, Songs and Dances, numbers 1 through 8. Granados, Concert Allegro, Nights in the Gardens of Spain, with the French radio people, radio diffusion things, under Ernesto Halfter, of all people. That's cool. It's very cool. What year was that? I remember this. I wasn't up live when it came out, but I got it soon after, 53. Yeah, I mean, those are sort of classics. Bach, the 2- and 3-part inventions. He's surprisingly good because of his dexterity and clarity. The Satie-like clarity he gave to his Bach. It really works very, very well. Then we've got some Couperin and Rameau and more Scarlatti sonatas. The Scarlatti sonatas are just a delight. Oh, K9 is here. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. More Scarlatti sonatas. Okay, that's fun. Kirkpatrick 1 to Kirkpatrick 482. They're all over the place. He always made a nice selection. Some Rossini, Péché de Vieillesse, which he also did extraordinarily well. Rossini was kind of a proto-Satie, you may recall. Chopin, 18 waltzes, very waltz-like. The Grieg Piano Sonata. He plays Grieg with a good, nice little edge. Really a nice, I keep saying angular, but it's true, and it works. It works really well. Seems to give the music more meat on its bones than it normally has, because the rhythms are always fresh and bracing. It's lovely. Grieg ballade and some lyric pieces, some scenes from country life, and pictures in an exhibition. Very good pictures in an exhibition as well. It's excellent Grieg. That's a fun disc. It's CD 13. Oh, we've got a lot to go. Got to pick up the pace. Liszt and the Pèlerinage. Okay, here's the later one. This is 61. And like I said, his list is uniformly worth hearing. I don't need to get into details here because it's very, very finely done. You're going to love it. Let's see. Oh, and the Harmonies Poétiques et Religieuses. Also very much worth hearing. Pensées des Morts is really fun. Your thoughts about death. That one is fun. And also Funérailles, of course, is a flowing and more urgent version than we often hear. And I really like it. You know, you're looking forward to the funeral in this case or something like that. So that's cool. Then we've got this clump. Next clump. There's more Liszt remakes of the Consolations, the Two Legends, St. Francis of Assisi, the Sermon to the Birds, and, you know, the Walking on the Waves things, St. Francis de Paul, Walking on the Waves, the Three Liebesträume, the two ballades, Schumann's Kindersehnen. Schumann is also fun, but this is only Traumerei. This is Träumerei. This is not the whole thing. The Spring Song from Mendelssohn's Songs Without Words. And Albania's Iberia. It may not be the most Iberesque Iberia. I don't know what that means anyway, but some people say, well, it's not as idiomatically Spanish. He was Italian, he became French. You heard one Romance language, you've heard them all, right? Yeah, it's a very good Iberia. And another España. And some Falla dances from the Three-Cornered Hat, El Amor Brujo, Granados Goyescas. I mean, you see the kind of repertoire that he really specialized in. It wasn't the thing that was going to bring him, you know, international serious pianist reputation type stuff. But it was really well done, and it was his repertoire. Chabrier, he did lots of interesting French repertoire. The Chabrier Pièces Pittoresques, they are magnificent. They're a masterpiece. And this is a beautiful, beautiful performance. And he did España and the Foyer d'Album and Boré Fantasque, some Debussy, Boris Chabrier, and César Franck, Les Djinns, with the Orchestre Nationale Belgique, with André Clétaz. So that's cool. I have to say about his Debussy, because here we're getting to it. He did all the Debussy piano music too. He was not, well, you know, I imprinted on a lot of his Debussy. And so I liked it. I liked it very much. And when I heard people like King and the sort of the touch Debussy guys, wow, I thought initially, no, it's just too fluffy and watery and whatever. But over time, I have sort of, you know, we have so many great Debussy pianists doing like the complete piano works. I've sort of de-imprinted on my Ciccolini. I don't like it as much as I originally did, but I still think it's different and interesting. So you've got all the Debussy stuff. We don't have to get into the details, but Saint-Saëns, the 6 etudes for the left hand alone, that's fabulous. Fabulous. And there's also that Etude en forme de valse by Saint-Saëns here, which is really fun. Then comes Satie. Here's volume 1. Here's volume 2. Here's volume 3. Here's volume 4. So there's Satie. You get to kill 4 birds with 1 stone. I mean, his Satie, both cycles are super. It's just super. It was repertoire he made his own, and good for him, because it's delicious music. I love Satie, so that's really cool. Then we've got Séverac, Déodé de Séverac, who wrote like 3 pieces of music, including En Languedoc, right here, and En Vacances, romantic piano pieces, and The Little Lead Soldier, and Baigneuse de Soleil. Really, really wonderful, interesting, lovely, colorful French music, and he owned it. For what it's worth, it was his, and that was really interesting. Here's the other volume of Séverac. We have Das Lied von der Erde. Yes, Le Chant de la Terre, poème géorgique for piano. and a Serdagna, which is 5 etudes, picturesques, and some other things. This is lovely music. If you don't know your Severac, get to it fast. Schumann, Kindersehnen, Waldsehnen, the Intermezzi, Opus 4, and Brahms Klavierstücke, surprisingly good and effective. Really, really shapely and intelligent Schumann, and lovely Brahms. More Brahms, late Brahms, Intermezzi and things. I mean, these are being done now, the late Brahms piano works, by everybody all over the place. I mean, a couple of years ago, remember? Like 5 sets of them all came out at once with different people, and they were all really good, or most of them were really good, but Ciccolini was also really good. Sensitive. His way to shape miniatures and things like that was really, really, he had a great poetic sensibility. He really did. Schubert, oh dear, yes. Brahms Rhapsodies, those are okay. Schubert D 960, not my favorite. It strikes me as kind of clunky and not too interesting. And then the Moment Musical in F minor, and some more Chopin, a prelude, the Fantasy in F minor. That's fun. The Etude in A flat major. First release on CD. There you go. That accounts for the other 4 CDs. 1 Chopin Etude or something. All right, what's this pile here? Here we go. You ready? Schubert sonatas and the impromptus. Sonata in D664, and the impromptus and number 13 in A major. The impromptus D899 and D835. The impromptus. Just let it rest. The impromptus are better than the sonatas. He's better in short forms. He just was. I mean, it's true. And the sonata number 13, it's better than his sonata number 21. Let's put it that way. César Franck. Well, this is good stuff. This is juicy. The Prelude, Chorale, and Fugue, the Prelude, Aria, and Finale, the Prelude, Fugue, and Variation, which is a transcription of an organ thing, and the Symphonic Variations, again, in this case with the Orchestre Philharmonique de Liège under Paul Strauss. It's so good that he did the Franck Symphonic Variations a few dozen times. It's really about time. This is good. Okay, new Franck Le Djinn, a new one, a Djinn. The Dandy Symphony on a French Mountain Air again, which is, I mean, you can't have too many of those. It's with the Orchestre de Paris and Serge Baudo. Baudo was a very good conductor. And Alexis de Castillon, Concerto for Piano and Orchestra in D major. Well, when was the last time you heard that? Yay! Oh, that's fun. With the Monte Carlo Symphony Orchestra and Georges Prêtre. Fun disc. Definitely fun disc. Massenet, Complete Piano Works. Yeah, this is great stuff. Here they are. It's 2 discs. You have his Piano Concerto, which is beautiful. That's with Sylvain Camberling and Monte Carlo. That's probably pretty recent, yeah? 79. There you go. And then everything else he did, which are, let's see, 10 genre pieces, 7 improvisations, a whole bunch of short things, Année Passée for piano 4 hands. He overdubs himself. There you go. Couldn't find anyone else to do it. Who knows? 6 dances for piano 4 hands, 3 marches, La Vierge, the Virgin for 4 hands. There's Premiere Suite for piano 4 hands, and 2 lullabies. Really cool. It's wonderful to have that music down. Then Saint-Saëns piano concertos. Is this all of them? Let's see, numbers 2 and 4, numbers 1 and 3, and number 5. Yes, there they all are, right? No, this is 3 and 5 in the Carnival of the Animals with Alexis Weissenberg and the other piano, which makes it a pretty spiky Carnival of the Animals. And, here's Concerti 1, 2, and 4. These are with the Orchestre de Paris and Serge Baudo, and they're wonderful. Very good performances. So that's fun. They were eclipsed when Collard did his cycle with Andre Previn. And Ciccolini was sort of sidelined, but they've held their own for a zillion years. Ravel piano concertos and the Debussy Fantasy, yay, with Jean Martinon. I mean, what's not to love, right? Terrific. The only problem with this stuff is that EMI had so many recordings of the Ravel piano concertos. Remember, they had Collard and Mazel, and then they had Samson Francois and Cuitins, and just a lot of competition. But Ciccolini holds his own. He really does. Then we've got Mozart Variations and the Beethoven Moonlight Sonata and the Bagatelle Feu Elise. It's only the Moonlight part, the first movement. So we can forget about the Beethoven. But the Mozart Variations are fun. Lots of them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 sets of variations, which are extremely enjoyable. Liszt, what's this? Harmonie poétique et religieuse again. Can't have too many of those, though. Can you really? Seriously? Funérailles has slowed down a bit in this particular set by about a minute and a bit. I kind of like the earlier ones better, but that's okay. That's me. And the opera paraphrases. Oh, yes, including Isolde's Liebestod, the vowels from Faust, the waltz from Faust, yes. From, oh, goodness gracious, Donizetti, Verdi, Rigoletto paraphrase, Boccanegra, Trovatore, and the Sacred Dance and final duet from Aida. Was that fun? You know, he played a bunch of pianos, Steinways, Bosendorfers, Fazolis, a whole different bunch of things. All right, here is the next Debussy Satie thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The remakes, the digital remakes from the 80s, the mid-80s. And you can, like I said, you can take your pick and see which set you like better because they're both in here. And you can spend the rest of your life comparing them. I'm not going to. And finally, yes, here was the complete Debussy piano music. This was the later Debussy stuff. And it's individual. It's not my favorite anymore. I mean, it was never my favorite, actually, but it was. I liked it better than I do now. But you may like it better than I do. So there's that. And Chopin. Oh, the cello sonatas. Yeah, Chopin cello sonata, Rachmaninoff cello sonata, and the Mozart Kegelstadt trio for, piano, clarinet, and viola. This is with Henri Drouart and Roger Lepave, viola, and Paul Tortelier. Lovely, lovely disc. He's a very fine accompanist. He didn't do a lot of chamber stuff, but when he did it really well. What is this stuff? Oh, my goodness. Debussy. Ravel. Ravel's... oh, I see. Okay. All kinds of weird stuff. Vocal things with Janine Michaud, soprano, and Debussy's, Mélodie. There we go. There are melodies. You've got the Aquarelle and the Ariette Oubliée, Paul Verlaine, and a whole bunch of individual little songs. Ravel's Histoire Naturelle with Jean-Christophe Benoit, baritone, all this Ravel stuff. And, okay. Yeah. These were in those Debussy and Ravel melody boxes on EMI. I think they were anyway. I remember hearing them. So, and we've got more. Look at that, the Art of the Melody with Nikolai Geda. Yes, that was sure they were. Here's Ravel's stuff, and you've got soloists from the Orchestre de Paris with Jean-Pierre Jacquiat and Mehdi Mesplay and all of those people. Yeah, Ciccolini participated in those. Satie melodies, okay, you've got those. A whole disc of that. No texts and translations, of course, but it's French. We all know what it means. Albani's the Concerto Fantastico and a new Nights in the Gardens of Spain with the Royal Phil and Enrique Batiz. And nice, good sound. So those are worth having. And we have here the, oh, goodness gracious, Beethoven Piano Concertos 3 and 4. Yeah, those weren't in the previous box, I don't think. Beethoven Piano Concertos 3 and 4 with the Thessaloniki State Symphony Orchestra under Myron Michaelidis. I listened to them just the other day, and they're okay. I mean, okay. Not great. Okay. These were fun, though. Salieri Keyboard Concerti, 2 of them, with I Solisti Vinetti and Claudio Shimoni. Okay, this must have been on Erato originally. Maybe that's where they found this for this set. This was on Fonicetra originally. Well, okay. But that's fun. And we have Aldo Ciccolini Schumann, the Arabesque in C major, and the Piano Sonata No. 3, Carnival. These are good. And Schubert's Drei Klavierstücke, D946, and Chopin's Barcarolle on a Steinway and a Bosendorfer. First release. So that's, new stuff. Or so they claim. The Schumann Third Sonata is really good. I like that. It's a good piece. It doesn't get played, does it? It really should. And then we've got a whole bunch of crazy little encores. His favorite encores, and here they are. by Guastavino, Mozart, Schubert, Debussy, Chopin, Granados, Satie, Scarlatti, Hinastera, Mozart, Elgar. We said Mozart already, didn't we? Yes. Elgar, Salut d'Amour, Schumann, and more Debussy from the Suite Bergamasque. And that is 60 discs of Ciccolini. I mean, as you can tell from this rather extraordinary, it really is extraordinary collection of material, he did not do the same old. And when he did do the same old, he didn't do it in the same old way, which makes his output interesting and worth hearing. And even where you disagree with it or don't like it, it's a discovery. And I like this. I like the French piano school generally. I like these big boxes of strange French people you haven't heard of, you know? I really do. And I'm glad that there's not so much Beethoven and, you know, those people. I really am. A little bit of Mozart, which he does really well. The Beethoven, we could just forget about for now. And, but the Liszt is great. The Schumann is really good. And his Chopin is interesting also, I would say. You know, these are works that have been played so many times by so many other people. His Debussy is distinctive. All of the French stuff, Massenet and Séverac and Castillon, all these people you never heard of, it's so wonderful. The Satie is terrific. The Spanish stuff is really fun. It's good, interesting pianism. It deserves a box. So I'm glad it's here. And if you're a pianophile, you're going to want this. You're going to want to hear this, and you work your way through it carefully, casually, at your leisure, and just savor it. It's a lifetime in a box. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.